Aboro Aboye. So in today's installment of Orisa Lifestyle for Beginners, we're going to look at the apprenticeship model. The apprenticeship model is one of the organizing principles and defining characteristics of Yoruba education across the board. So in all crafts, in all industries, apprenticeship is the mode of instruction. Wood carvers, iron sculptors, potters, weavers, all different kinds of priests, all practice the apprenticeship model. The apprenticeship model is characterized by what we call age-appropriate learning experiences. Okay, so I'm going to use the example of a blacksmith. Okay, yeah, we're going to use a blacksmith. And in order to understand a blacksmith, you can't just take blacksmithing. You got to take a whole family lineage and a whole history, right? So there's a compound, let's say the Ogundikwe compound, which was established 500 years ago, right? Ogundikwe himself was a blacksmith, and he had 5 sons, and his 5 sons over time became blacksmiths, right? Now, in a compound, your sons stay in the compound and your daughters will move away. So over time, it will be like, a sprawling apartment complex with maybe 500 units. And everybody who is an owner of the unit is a man who is related to, another man, his father, his grandfather, you know what I mean? They all share a common male ancestor. That's the structure of a compound. And that whole compound is dedicated to blacksmithing. Okay. So let's say you are born, to Ogundikwe's great grandson, and he happens to be a part of the lineage that makes keys and locks. You are going to be part of that whole family's craft industry. It's an institution that's been passed down for generations, one after another. Okay, that's super important for you to understand. It's not a school environment where people are just moving here and there. It's a public school environment or something like that where you just get to pick what you want and everybody in the whole community is learning the same thing. No. In the apprenticeship model, everything is coming down as like a family recipe, okay? And your family owns a certain thing. An industry belongs to you, and all the trade secrets belong to you. All this is important because it's gonna influence the way the craft is passed on, from one generation to the next. So what happens? Little boy is born at about maybe age 7. He's gonna go to the smithy with his father, and his father's gonna start giving him different tasks. Go fetch me this. Go fetch me that. Go fetch me this. Go, and over time, little by little, a year, 2 years, he's gonna know all the tools. Then his father's gonna start giving him other little tasks to start putting things, together in a certain kind of way. Start gathering certain materials and cluster these together. And when you clean this up, right, he's learning how things work little by little. Over time, they're going to go to meetings every couple of weeks. He's going to go to the meetings with all the other blacksmiths, and he's going to meet his uncles and other blacksmiths who are not part of his family but live in the area, and they're going to share trade secrets. They're going to talk about pricing. They're going to resolve conflicts. You're being brought up in all of this, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then you're going to start making things until the point where maybe your father will send you over to another blacksmith so that you could learn another part of the trade. Maybe there's somebody who makes weapons, or maybe there's somebody who makes housewares. Maybe there's somebody who makes art, depending on the relationships and the proximity, you're gonna start going to hang out with different people to learn different things. Keep in mind, however, none of this is written down. Not one single word of this is written down. None of this is in a pamphlet or a little threefold or on a website or in a textbook. Not the history, not the practices, not the goals, not the mission, not the methodology. Nothing is written down. You absorb it all anecdotally, little by little by little. Okay. So it takes time. It takes time. And one of the defining characteristics of the time and how well you perform in the time is your ability to imitate. So your job is to go in and watch your master work and imitate him. So you're going to make keys the way he makes keys. You're going to make locks the way he makes locks. And when you can demonstrate that you can make a key just like he does, and you can make a lock just like he does, then you can graduate. That is the apprenticeship model, right? It carries over with total fidelity in Orisa Lifestyle. Your master teacher is expecting for you to put in time with him or time with her. These are the old school. This is how the original teachers taught, and this is how really all the teachers today still are going to teach. It's an oral tradition. That's what it means. When we say it's an oral tradition, we don't just mean that there aren't books. We mean that there is a whole other process that's person to person. One of the things that I want you to take away from that can be overlooked or minimized in that process is the fact that over time, you're building a rapport. Over time, you're developing relationships. And it's through that rapport and through those relationships that you become transformed. It's through that relationship that you really internalize the ashe of your teacher and the craft as a whole, right? You're taking on the collective consciousness of all those who practice your craft. You become a part of a society that's bound by blood, that's governed by tradition, that's inspired by a vision of someone who, established this in the time before time. Okay. So as someone who's coming out of a Western tradition where, your religious experience comes out of a book, a Bible, right? You want to read the Bible. You want to read the Odu, right? It's not like that. It really isn't like that. Someone's going to tell you, and it's in their telling you this Odu by necessity that you're going to get the ashe. It's not by you reading it. You want someone to walk you through the process. What am I going to do the first, second, third? And it's just not going to happen. The expectation, the culture of the tradition is completely governed by the principles of the apprenticeship model. So, part of really what we're doing in the Orisa Lifestyle Academy is to establish a baseline of knowledge and understanding and conceptualization of what the practice is all about for you as a Westerner. So we've mapped everything out for you to answer your 20 questions, because your master teacher is probably not going to answer all those questions, right? They're probably not, because it's not set up to be taught that way, right? But you may need that because you're not starting at age 7. You haven't had 7, 8, 9, 10 years to be able to, marinate in all these different anecdotal lessons. You have a lot of questions. So we're designing a program so that you can answer those questions in a way that makes sense for you, so that you can make intelligent and informed decisions. Aboru aboye, aboshishe.